Well, hello and welcome to Wrexham I Follow. I'm Mark Griffiths. I'm joined by Mia Roberts and Andy Morrell, and we're here tonight to bring you Wrexham's game at Huddersfield Town. A game between two sides in the playoff positions. A game which sees Huddersfield, who, crippled by injuries, have had a pretty poor 2025 so far, albeit one which was brightened up on Saturday with a really good win at Stevenage against a Wrexham side that, frustrated not to get all 3 points against Bolton on Saturday, will be looking to make amends tonight. And here's a rarity: two unchanged sides, including the substitutes. So no changes whatsoever for Wrexham. Arthur Okonkwo in goal. The back three: Tom O'Connor, Owen O'Connell, Max Cleworth. It's Ryan Longman on the right and Seb Revan on the left. In the middle, Matty James will have George Dobson and Ollie Rathbone either side of him. And up front, it's Sam Smith and Jay Rodriguez. On the bench for Wrexham, Mark Howard, Dan Scarr, Ryan Barnett, James McLean, Elliot Lee, Stephen Fletcher and Jack Marriott. Well, good evening, both of you. I always forget to do that, but for once I've remembered my manners. I don't think it's a huge surprise to see us unchanged. It was a decent performance against Bolton, just lacked a finish at the end.
Yeah, good evening, Mark. Lovely night for a big game of football, and yeah, I totally agree. I think on another day, on Saturday, we come away with 3 points. Slightly unfortunate not to get more than the one that we did, but against the strong Bolton side, I think you've got to look at that with a positive outlook. And now we've come into this game, which really looking at, obviously we do our research in the build-up, and Huddersfield's home form has been, really shambolic as of late. Haven't scored in their last 5 here, haven't won here this year in 2025. So Wrexham need to make sure we don't give them the opportunity to change that. We need to make sure we're absolutely at it tonight and hopefully come away with a big 3 points in that race for that second place spot.
Yes, evening, Mark. Evening, Mia. Yes, completely agree. I'm not surprised. Unchanged today. I thought the team did well. I thought he'd rested the go-getters, if you like, for 20 minutes at the end of the game, where he tried to change it and bring on Fletcher, etc., Marriott. And so I'm sure that he was pleased with the performance that they put out, and it's now up to them to do it again against a more stubborn opposition. I would have thought in Huddersfield they don't concede many, haven't scored many, like Mir said. So really key game, though. Really, if we could get a win, would really just push that gap a little bit further and ease that pressure from below.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Huddersfield, I think, will be pleased that, considering the rough ride they've had, they're still in 5th place, which is quite an achievement. Like I said, at home, thus far in 2025, as Bia said, no points and no goals. And yet, having said that, they're still up there. They have a lot of injuries, but they still have quality. Lee Nichols is in goal, one of 3 high-quality goalkeepers they've got. They're all fit, of course, ironically. Across the back, they play 3: Brodie Spencer, Nigel Lonvike and Josh Ruffles. Their wing-backs, Ollie Turton on the right, Ruben Ruskin on the left, who got rave reviews in their win at Stevenage on Saturday. In the centre of midfield, Joe Hodge and Anthony Adams, with Tawanda Chirewa ahead of them, trying to support the wide split strikers of Callum Marshall and Josh Karoma. Like I said, their bench, actually I beg your pardon, there is one change. Sub-keeper is Jacob Chapman has come into, and Lasse Sorensen as the right back. Experienced Jonathan Hogg has got plenty of kudos here over the years. Ben Wiles, Joe Taylor, Dion Charles is a high-profile striker that they brought in who's yet to properly fire, and Freddie Ladapo. A team sort of forged with Wrexham links, because the CEO here, Mark Cartwright, Jake Edwards, both ex-Wrexham players who have, I beg your pardon, director of football, who have brought the team together. Kevin Russell is assistant manager to Michael Duffy on the bench. And yeah, they're an expensively assembled team who surely will be in the conversation at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it was a surprise to see how poor their form was, considering they are still 5th and only 4 points behind us. Yeah, I went and had a cheeky little cup of tea in the boardroom. Oh, how the other half live. In there with Mark and Jake, just catching up on things. But yeah, they'll be looking as really important for them to get a win at home as well. So big game.
Absolutely, a straight from the kick-off. Dobson wins the ball well. It hit his hand and he's knocked it over the top. No handball given. Put too much on that. Rodriguez had no chance of getting to it, but a good aggressive start by Wrexham, looking to get into Huddersfield half, and now they're looking forwards themselves for Turton. That goes straight through to Arthur Okonkwo. Great atmosphere here. Terrific, sorry. I tried to time that cough and then put the mic to my mouth and got it wrong. Sorry about that. Behind Arthur Okonkwo's goal, some very lively Huddersfield fans and an almost full away section. Wrexham fans in excellent voices. Cleworth is he's won the throw-in. Throws it quickly in. It was a nice idea. Couldn't find Smith as the ball's intercepted, and now Huddersfield are coming forward. It's a lovely turn in midfield and surge through the middle by Chirewa. Works it over to the left-hand side. Karoma has only got one man in the middle, but he cuts into the box himself, gets the shot off, well blocked. Dobson got back well. Rathbone gives it away, and it comes back to the edge of the area. Cute little flick, and Chirewa waits for it to drop and can't quite get there. Crucial interception in front of goal. Huddersfield piling on early pressure here. Turton feeding it inside. The ball comes back out. Marshall drives in the cross. O'Connor half clears it. Turton again. Rodriguez with the tackle. Referee gives a free kick to Huddersfield on the corner of the box. That was intense pressure, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good start by Huddersfield. Wrexham, couple of chances to clear it, and just each time, just the first one I think got stuck under Ollie Rathbone's feet, and then again we just couldn't get a foot under it and get it away. But real chance here from a bit of a silly foul from Jay Rodriguez. Dangerous position early on for Huddersfield.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of contacts, but having said that, enough to make the referee make a decision. And as a result, Wrexham now need to defend. Two-player wall to try and block the ball in. Interesting, Huddersfield got a player standing on the near post. There's obviously miles offside. He's literally on the post. But that means he can maybe try and drop off, and for the second phase of aid being picked up. He's also in Arthur Okonkwo's eye line as referee gives the go-ahead. And the ball is dinked into the near post, straight into Okonkwo's hands, and it was all kind of cute by Ruskin, but ultimately didn't come to anything. Early ball is a good idea as well by Okonkwo. Now, right-hand side, Longman dispossessed. That was crucial. Tracking back, or Longman could have been in. Huddersfield now the chance. This is very stretched, and again they managed to bypass Wrexham's midfield with one pass. Good recovery tackle by Revan, and now he's in space. Rathbone finds him immediately. Revan running at his man, looks to go around the outside. It's a good tackle though, and now Wrexham are going to have to watch out. This is absolutely non-stop. Wrexham a little lucky perhaps as Rodriguez makes a tackle that he's penalised. Wrexham could have had a chance to play a killer pass, but this is breathless. Wow.
Yeah, it certainly is. Intensity from both teams, with and without the ball. Really good start to the game.
Free kick then. Lee Nichols, the Huddersfield skipper, will take it. It was nice defending then as Revan tried to go forwards by Ruskin, who found himself on the wrong flank after taking that free kick and made a good tackle. Wrexham clear, and Huddersfield make a bit of a hash of bringing the ball into control in midfield. Smith is caught in free kick in midfield. Spencer, the player who got him. I do like the fact it's all, this stadium, Populus's first stadium. Of course, they're building the Cop stand, and it is. It's a great. Always loved coming here. It was built in the 90s. It won architectural awards, not football stadium awards, just architectural awards. It's lovely. An exciting touch as we got monitors in front of our seats. Oh, as Wrexham nearly put Smith in. That was a great ball by Cleworth. Nearly put Smith 1-1 with the keeper. The only tragedy about these monitors, by the way, is mine's not working. Oh well.
Ours is though, isn't it, Mayor?
Yeah.
Brilliant view.
Cup of tea with the
They put my monitor on for me.
Yeah, exactly. Shocking. I can't find the slot to put me 10 pence in the meter. Wrexham with the throw-in. Will this game settle down, or is it going to just be harem-scarum from start to finish?
It's like you say, it's a championship ground, isn't it? if not Premier League ground, ready to go. The club's just playing a little bit of catch-up relegation last season. They're really looking to try and bounce back at the first attempt.
Yeah, I mean, 3 years ago they're a Premier League team. As Wrexham concede a throw-in, which will be taken on the right-hand side by Callum Marshall. Puts it in centrally and it's hooked long. O'Connell underneath it. Doesn't win it in the air. Cleworth gets a touch to it. But Chireba, who's picking up some nice little spaces between the lines, is there to it first. And I think Wrexham are going to have to watch out for him. As Huddersfield move it around, they go back into their own half. Longvik helping it on to Spencer. I watched Huddersfield losing at home to Bolton, about 3 weeks ago, as the ball's played forwards and O'Connor intercepts and drills the ball away. And it was the most bloodless performance by them. They just showed nothing. Well, they're immediately showing a lot more here as the throw-in's taken and clipped inside nicely. Karoma does well to keep his feet as O'Connor catches him. No foul. Rathbone intercepts but doesn't make a good clearance. But the attempt to lay the ball off is inaccurate. Smith does well to put something into midfield for Dobson to fight for. He doesn't make it, but Matty James does. Overhits his pass. We're having to hurry everything in midfield. They're working very hard, aren't they, Huddersfield, off the ball?
Yeah, it's just been a little bit scrappy in that middle bit of the park so far, particularly for Wrexham. Huddersfield having more joy on the ball as it stands, but also quite happy to knock one over the top. They've got pace in Karoma and Marshall up top, who are both really lively players. Marshall particularly, someone in really good forms, looked really bright for a young player.
Huddersfield go back to Nichols, resplendent in his all pink kit, rolls it across to the right hand side. My interesting pink kit fact is that Palermo, who play in pink in Italy, supposedly play in pink because their white shirts were put in with a red shirt in the wash, and it was the good old early days of football when they all came out pink, and that's your shirts now. Anyway, there's the first of many irrelevant facts throughout the day.
So just looking at both team setups, really, both 3-5-2, and just an slight alteration to Huddersfield with two sitters and one in front, whereas we're the opposite, 1 and 2, so they'll just sort of match up with each other. And then so all over the pitch, it's who can be better than your man. If you're better than your man, can we get 8 of our players better than their players? Because if we are, then we'll win the game.
Longman wins the throw, 10 yards into Huddersfield half. These black marks across the pitch from Huddersfield Giants play rugby league here. As the ball is fed back to O'Connell. Remember, you can get in touch with us using the hashtag AskWrexham, ASKWXM, on Blue Sky or Twitter, as O'Connell looks for the big diagonal. Good ball to Revan, who brings it down immediately, put under pressure, and he gives it away. Karoma has got movement inside him from Chireba. He can't pick him out, so he instead plays the ball across to Ruffles. Ruskin now in midfield, feeding it forwards. Poor ball, but James, not just a good interception, a clever pass. And here is Jay Rodriguez. Rathbone now in the middle of the pitch. O'Connor running onto it. Wrexham, I think, are happy just to move the ball around for the moment. Although I haven't said that, O'Connor changes his mind, goes forwards, plays a chip which is cleared and then well dealt with in midfield. Adams felting it on. Chireba again has just drifted into a nice little position. Dobson trips him, and I think he did a good job there, Dobson, to stop Chireba, who again is looking for space and trying to drive and exploit it.
Yeah, he looks like he's got really good feet, doesn't he? Really comfortable on the ball, picking up some really good positions just on either side of Matty James. But then Dobson just got the wrong side of him there and just takes him down.
Here now, Ruskin slipping it in, headed towards goal, puts us wide. Okonkwo had it covered, but we're into the 10th minute already, and yeah, Huddersfield are looking to get at us, aren't they? They're quick, they're using the pace of their wing backs well. We're yet to really get forwards down the sides and push those wing backs back.
Yeah, they look a lot more confident than they have in recent weeks, obviously particularly at home, but even in some of those away performances, I think they've just lacked that little bit of confidence, which is, not something you could have said for a side that high up in the table.
Okonkwo finding Rodriguez, but Rathbone's header forwards is inaccurate. O'Connor heads it back in then. Rodriguez has dropped off, found nice space, underhit his pass, mind. Chireba gets a foot in, but Wrexham have it back, and Again, Huddersfield putting pressure on the ball as O'Connor finds Rathbone, runs into trouble rather and can't get himself out. Lovely footwork by Karoma to get out of that crowded pocket of the pitch, and the ball in the end goes back and Lonvik will use his goalkeeper. Yeah, those little traps teams are setting as well. The pressing and the counter-pressing looks like it's going to be really important for both sides here. And Huddersfield at the moment are starting very brightly. Turton deep in his own half. Good ball up, looking to the feet of Marshall, and it's laid off nicely. Marshall has spun around beautifully, but they did look the other way instead. And in the end, again, it's Ruskin who's really keen to get at Wrexham. On this occasion, he feeds it back into his own half for Ruffles. Ruskin now is running and sending Longman back with him. Pops it inside. Hodge has a chance to switch if he wants to. Uses Ruskin's again, level the edge of the area. Longman has got Dobson helping him out. Huddersfield just moving it around and looking for space. Now they shift it across the pitch and back inside Lonvik. Picking out Hodge. Huddersfield looking neat and busy on the ball. Lots of movement off the ball. Lonvik clips it forward. This is good constructive fast passing. They're probing into Wrexham's half, just looking for gaps. An attempt to find Chirewa is probably the right ball, but isn't played correctly. And a nice idea by Matty James gives Smith something to fight for. He's done well, but so too has Lonvik. I beg your pardon, Spencer, who nicks it off him. But we're going to have to be patient, I think, at times here when they're knocking the ball around like that. Keep our shape, force them. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, Longman may be unlucky to be penalised. He wins the ball high at the pitch. I wonder if we're going to be a bit patient sometimes, let them pass it around in front of us like that. Choose our moment to wait for the mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've also got to make sure that there's no holes in and around us, because they'll keep moving it and you're going to be moved around. You've got to be really tight to your man when you do go, so they can't just get turned and then play forward.
Here's Chirewa again dropping off, this time into his own half. Spencer to Lonvik to Ruffles as the ball is shifted across the back three, right to left. And then Ruffles joins in again. Good, accurate ball up to the feet of Marshall. The switch is on, but the pass by Marshall is inaccurate. Good work by Karoma to keep possession as the ball is fed down the line by Adams, and if Revan needed his pace there to beat Turton to him. He's by the corner flag now, is able to clear down the line. Smith, good strength holding her off as he was nudged from behind by Spencer. Rathbone over the top, but just as Rodriguez was dropping off short. And that'll go harmlessly through to Nichols, who comes out of his box to deal with it and clears it deep into Wrexham's half. O'Connor looks to be fouled. He heads it away well, though. Ball comes in for Karoma. Marshall going over the top. Karoma looks for him. Marshall flicks it on. And it's a good interception by Cleworth, I think. Ruskins would have been offside, wouldn't he?
Well, I think it's a free kick.
Anyway.
He stooped down to head it and high boot. But like you say, they're looking to just spin in that channel. Did get a touch to it first. It's going to be a brilliant battle, that one down that right-hand side. Longman against Ruskin already looks a tasty one.
Longman needs to be taking that battle to him, doesn't he, really?
Well, he needs to really do his defensive work. That's
Yeah.
going to be so important for the team. But then also he's got to take him the other way for us, because he's one of our biggest threats and was on the weekend.
Free kick taken and brought down in the end by Dobson. Here is O'Connell now. Nice ball in between the lines. Again, Rodriguez has dropped off nicely to find a little bit of space. O'Connor crossing the halfway line, feeds it wide. Revan has got Rathbone inside. Back to O'Connor. Wrexham moving the ball around well. Rare spell of good possession by Wrexham as Cleworth drives forwards. Longman wants it. Cleworth rolls it in behind, but over hits it. And it's clears, but Cleworth wins it back. Ruskins, though, is first to it. Ruffles, that's neat passing again by Huddersfield in their own half. Wrexham working hard on the edge of the Huddersfield box, forcing a long ball clear by Ruffles in the end. And O'Connor heads it rather aimlessly back in. It's alert play by Rodriguez, but he can't quite get to the loose ball. And Huddersfield once more moving it around at the back.
Yeah, they're the key ones when we do work so hard to get it. That header that Tom O'Connor plays, he's just got to find one of our men to take the sting out of their attacks, because we've worked so hard further up the pitch. Can we just make that one pass so that we can keep possession?
Is the ball out now to Turton. All this started because, again, Chirewa just dropped off. Once he gets out of the area where Matty James feels happy to track him, I'm not sure people are quite sure who's going to pick him up on that occasion. He just hid on the shoulder of Rathbone on his blind side. And he started this spell, which now sees Huddersfield camped in Wrexham's half. Ruskins again is going to go at Longman, who stands up well. Ruskins pulls it back, driven into the box by Ruffles, comes through. Is it offside though? Yes, it is. He looked off to me. Karoma lunged in and flicked it in from 6 yards out. And yeah, I thought so. The flag's gone up.
Yeah, it was just a couple of deflections on it, I think, so it just makes him offside. It's probably not the first one, but the second touch that just puts him offside.
It's a big warning for Wrexham, though. Really haven't got into this game as of yet. And Huddersfield have come out really well. And that's only going to give them confidence. You can hear the crowd getting up after that again. It's a nice little finish as well. He's unlucky.
It's a little bit tighter than I thought, actually. I thought he was goal side of O'Connor, but looking at that. Yeah, Turton was a good header forward from the free kick. O'Connor has to intercept as O'Connor just blocks Karoma off, but Wrexham need to get a better grip on the ball than this. Rodriguez feeds it forward, Smith as well to win the throw-in. 30 yards out. If I was Seb Revan, I'd take time over it.
Yeah, I think this is the first away game in a while where we haven't really flown out the blocks. Obviously, the last three we've gone on to win, and part of that has been due to the starts we've made in those games.
Revan throwing it down the line. Smith holding her up. Rodriguez now. Wrexham have got much ahead of the ball. Rathbone feeds it back to his own half. And O'Connell now in the centre circle as Longman calling for the diagonal. Instead threads a good ball to Rodriguez, who flicks it through. Smith is offside. He's won a moment to keep it. Finished it. Well, he didn't finish actually. Good save by Nichols, but he knew he was offside by the time he hit it. Tight call again, but probably the right one.
Yeah, lovely little flick by Rodriguez. Knows exactly where that Smith run is going to be. Just sadly mistimes it, I think.
Now Revan high up the pitch, gets a good foot in against Turton. Throw to Huddersfield. 25 yards out from their own goal, right hand side. 17th minutes, Huddersfield taking the game to Wrexham here. As the target from Spencer's throw is Turton. Manager's just about to get it back to him, and it's flicked on cutely down the flank by Marshall. Karoma does well to bring it down, but O'Connor is there, takes control. For a moment it looked like he could collide at Cleworth, but he doesn't, and Okonkwo gets his kick all wrong. At least he's put it in the Huddersfield half, but it's inaccurate. The ball in the end ends up with Hodge after Adams doing a little bit of hard work retrieving the ball. It's picked up on the right hand side by Spencer again. Wrexham back in the middle block. Ruby Slippers on Ars Wrexham saying terrific noise from the Wrexham fans as cross in from Ture was too strong, easy for Okonkwo, who needs to be a bit more accurate with this kick than his last one. In fact, he's going to just drop it at the feet of O'Connell. Rathbone now in his own half. O'Connor again playing it long, looking for Smith, trying to drop it in behind Spence, who deals with it well in the run. Rathbone intercepts a clearance well though, and then Smith looked to be climbed on. The flag has gone up for offside against him. I'm not quite sure he's offside when a bloke's jumped on his back, but okay, fair enough.
Yeah, a bit odd, but he certainly got clattered from behind.
So Huddersfield moving the ball around at the back. Still 0-0. The Wrexham fans continuing to make good noise. But, well, there's not much going on at the far end for them to squint towards seeing. Put it that way. Here's Turton, miscontrols it. Revan grabs it, looks for the early throw, but again, it's only Smith ahead of him.
Well, when the ball goes back to the central three for Huddersfield, pretty much all the players just vacate the middle of the pitch. There's only Hodge that's in the middle there. Evans pulls right out here. Karoma's right up the pitch. Marshall right up the pitch. They make it like a big circle. So all three midfielders are pretty much not marking anybody, but they've just got to make sure that there's no passing lanes for them to go through to people behind them.
But Crawley did something a bit similar, didn't they?
That's right.
And we settled into it. I thought in the first half that gave us problems, and we seemed to work things out as we went along. Here's Lomvik now on the edge of the area. It's got to be said as Ture goes on another one of his little space-finding expeditions. It's fed over to the right-hand side. And good foot in by Rathbone. Through into Huddersfield. Yeah, I mean, Huddersfield have better players than Crawley, it's got to be said, so they could execute it better. As Karoma has gone down off the ball, and the referee has stopped play. See how he is. He'll get some treatment.
Little chance to get a word into the ears of two of the players, Parkinson and Huddersfield, having a little huddle. The under-11s team that I take on the opposition did that to me when there was they told one of their centre half to go down and get a little huddle to do a tactical change mid-game. Under-11s, can you believe it?
Under-11s, that's shocking, man. Yeah, well, it was a successful enough weekend. Wrexham men got a point. Wrexham women won brilliantly. One of us scored, didn't they?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yes, Mia, corner.
Come on.
Back post header.
Talk us through it.
Yeah, individually very happy. But, sadly we didn't get any points on the board, so still a lot of work to be done.
It's all about you, Mia, don't worry.
Yeah, too right. Did Welcome to Wrexham film the game? That's what I want to know.
Thankfully not.
Oh. Well, Karoma's race is run. He comes off. Dion Charles comes on. Big signing for them, but he hasn't got going yet.
Another big injury blow for Huddersfield. They've had, far too many this season to really count. And Josh Karoma, massive player for them, so that's a real blow. And Dion Charles now, real opportunity for him to make his mark, which as of yet he hasn't quite managed to do.
Some to throw in. Free kick is won by Huddersfield in the middle of the pitch. Lovely bit of footwork by Adams. And Wrexham again drop off into that mid-block, holding a line about 25 yards out. It's a good run by Marshall, but the free kick's nowhere near finding him. Revan intercepts, just about managed to stop it going for a throw-in, but Huddersfield have it once more. Hodge popping it backwards. Ball driven over the top of Wrexham's defence. O'Connor heads it clear. Second balls are being won by Huddersfield, mind. It's just turned around the corner. Revan intercepts as Turton tries to get in the end of it. O'Connor now drilling it down the line. Touched on by Rodriguez. Smith back again. Does well to get it back to Rodriguez, who takes it beautifully on his thigh. Driving down the left. Smith's in the middle. He looks inside for Dobson. That's unlucky. If he'd found him, he'd have been all on his own in the box. Big interception by Evans. Great tackle back by Rathbone. No, Dobson shoots. He should have played it right, shouldn't he? Because Longman's running into a great position.
Yeah, possibly the wrong choice, but he's well within his rights to be hitting it from there. He's only 23 yards out of the box. Ollie Rathbone does ever so well to get the ball back. And he's in shooting range, so why not take a pop? But like you said, Longman was coming. His first touch is just a little bit in between his feet, so he can't really strike. He needs to take that just onto his right-hand side a little bit more. Hence why he drags it. But then he could have just fed maybe Longman in.
Yeah, Wrexham have been really aggressive off the ball in certain challenges, and I don't think Huddersfield are too happy about some of them, but that was a really good challenge from Ollie Rathbone, that one.
It was a nice combo between Smith and Rodriguez as well. And Rodriguez's attempt to put Dobson clear on goal was close to working. He was unlucky. Anyway, here's Huddersfield now coming forwards as good foot in by Rodriguez at least stops Huddersfield from finding a forwards pass while Wrexham are still getting their shape. A long ball for Ruskin is intercepted by Longman. Ruskin picks up a loose ball. His ball to the edge of the area, intercepted by O'Connell, who gives it away sloppily. And now here's Hodge, who is looking to regulate play, sitting a little bit deeper in midfield. Feeds to the edge of the area. Poor ball. Chiriwa can't take it. And a little nudge inside by Smith. Just asks a bit too much as he prods it in Rathbone's path. He can't take it.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a hot potato at the moment when we get it back, and obviously Huddersfield are coming for us on that transition, the Gagan press if you like, and we're just not able to just make 1 and 2 passes just to get the ball out of that hot spot and out to somewhere that's got a little bit more space and time.
Cleworth Stuck by his corner flag. Does well to find Longman. That's a great first touch by Longman. Gets a round of applause from the Wrexham fans. He turns away from trouble. But Dobson has lost it on the edge of the area now. Ball is fed in dangerously. And an important challenge comes then. Has it gone for a corner? Eventually it has. But that was a dangerous little moment after Dobson's error. O'Connell had to deal with it.
Yeah, I actually thought he'd cleared it. My eyes sort of went the other way at first. Because it looked like it was on just to get rid of it, really. And then, I'm not sure. Maybe could Arthur come and grab that? Maybe. But Owen O'Connell does really well just to get back in control of that ball.
So here's an in-swinger. Wrexham with everyone back defending. 26th minute. And Chireva again is just offering short. Referee's seen something in the goalmouth he doesn't like. And is going to intervene. Referee, orange shirt, black shorts. Dressed in tribute to the 1970s Dutch team, you would assume. Here comes the in-swinger then, from the left-hand side. Real crowd in front of Okonkwo, swept straight to him though. He takes it, and now he's got players trying to surge up the pitch, offering. Longman and Smith are there. It was on to release it. He does, looking for Longman, who was goal side of everyone for a bit. He's done well to use his body and turn onto it on the right. Huddersfield are getting back now though. Longman taking on two men, cuts in between them, does well. And has he won a corner? The backspin, I think, is going to stop it, is it? No, corner for Wrexham. Well done, Longman, but Okonkwo could have looked for him earlier, perhaps.
Yeah, but he did really well with it, didn't he? Because Huddersfield had got back well. I think we only had Sam Smith up with Ryan Longman, so he does well to actually win something from it.
Yeah, it just takes Arthur an extra step, just to get himself set and just need to do it. Put it in the space, let Longman open his legs up and get after it.
Short corner. And Wrexham have worked it nicely. O'Connor rips it in the goal mouth, straight in the keeper's hands. Nichols takes it comfortably. O'Connell tries to barge into him. They play rugby league here, but you can't do that. Throw by Nichols anyway out to the left, and Ruskin has space now as he sets himself. Dobson's come across to cover. I don't think Wrexham will be that happy with the balance of play, but I think they'll probably all be happy that with 27 minutes played, Huddersfield, for all their threat, haven't really carved out a chance as such. I know that the goal disallowed, but it was offside, so that wasn't a chance. And if you're offside, that's good defending. You've got your line right, just about. Smith, great strength to win that header. Wrexham fans shouting for a foul. To be fair, Smith doesn't ask for it. Longman comes in, distracts Ruskin, who recovers very well to make a challenge. Dobson retains the ball. He plays it in behind Cleworth though. He has to find Okonkwo, and his clearance has carried just about through to Smith. It's a bit flat. There's possibilities here. Revan wanted the early pass from Rathbone. He goes back to O'Connor instead. O'Connor driving forwards, finds Revan. Good challenge on him from behind by Turton, and now Revan has done well to win it back. Dobson, just the first touch wasn't great, and so he couldn't go forwards with it, but he's released Cleworth driving forwards. He feeds it to Longman, level the edge of the area, delivers the cross, headed away comfortably, but Rathbone has it, edge of the D. Fans tell him to shoot, it's on his wrong foot. Finds Revan, dinks it in nicely to the far post, well headed, clear, and the loose ball picked up by Hardew, launches it to the halfway line. Good pressure that from Wrexham. O'Connell now. Little ball to Matty James. O'Connell once more. Smith wants it over the top. Rodriguez picks up another nice little position, just lays her off. Smith just stuttered for a moment. He's putting pressure on Spencer, but the defender's done well. Runs away from him, gets it clear over the top, and O'Connor under pressure does really well to find O'Connell on the edge of the area, and he feeds it forwards. And this is Wrexham's best spells again. Cleworth comes driving forwards over the halfway line. Finds Longman. Will he have a go at Ruskin again? He's got him isolated. Shapes to go outside. Good tackle by the wing back. Cleworth though rolls it back in, and now he's round the back of Ruskin. Longman, 4 men in the box to aim for, hits the first defender. Oh, that's disappointing. Wrexham had players over at the far post because Revan and Rathbone have got in there.
He's normally so good in those positions as well, and he had time to maybe just settle himself, but he took it really early.
But it's a good spell this by Wrexham, and it can continue because a good piece of work by James wins it back for Wrexham in the middle of the pitch. O'Connell now spreading it out wide on the right hand side again. Cleworth has space. Huddersfield going to have a look at that. He feeds in Longman again, level the edge of the area up against Ruskin on his left foot, dinks it in again. The first defender heads it clear though, and it's nodded back to O'Connell. O'Connell feeding it again. Cleworth just keeps finding this room in the Huddersfield half, drills it in, stretching Lonvike, prods it up in the air on the edge of the area, half cleared. Matty James gets a foot in. Dobson looks to catch his man, nothing given. Rathbone quickly out to Revan. Chance for him now to have a go at his man. Turton, he comes in on his right foot, then his left, gets to the goal line, checks back out again, pulls it to Rathbone, edge of the box. He dinks it to the far post, keeper's coming, drops it, but he's fouled. Ball ends up in the net, but there's no complaints from Wrexham about that. Looked like it was knocked, his arm was knocked as he went up for it.
Yeah, much better from Wrexham though. Really good pressure. Just sometimes it's as simple as that. Owen O'Connell just making sure he plays that ball into that space for Max, who then, like you say, Mark, has so much space on that right-hand side to drive into, and it allows him to make a decision. Does he want to go long? Does he want to use the runner Longman? But just that last little bit for us just isn't clicking at the moment, that last little ball into the box. If we get that right, boy, have we got a chance.
Yeah, I just think we could do with, can we get on the half turn and play forward a little bit more? We're a little bit safe going back to the back three. Yes, we're keeping possession of it, but I think like a square ball to either Longman or Cleworth that's stepping in is really on.
Yeah, there were a couple of times at the start of that long spell of pressure where you thought, oh, the early ball's on here, as O'Connell goes forwards early and because ironically hits it straight to Ruffles. The Wrexham bench and the away fans shout for handball. The players don't, as Dobson loses it out. Chirewa feeds it into midfield, and it's a good little ball forwards. Marshall's not clipped. The ref says it's a dive, and well, O'Connell goes for a through ball on Smith, who clips his man Spencer as he tries to chase the last defender. No question, it's a foul. Huddersfield not happy that the challenge on Marshall wasn't given as a foul. But yeah, Wrexham have just had a good little spell there, and that the way, I don't know, is it because we have the two strikers forwards, which forces Ruffles to not go out and help out wide, which means that Ruskin's got a problem when Longman pins him, that he can't get up and watch Cleworth because he'll feed it in behind him for
Well, Cleworth
Longman
has got to make our extra man and go and make the overload for Longman, and then it might just take his eye off him, and that's when he'll get the space.
Yeah, Chirewa playing off the strikers. Yeah, it means that double pivot's sort of occupied with the Wrexham midfielders. Cross into the Wrexham box, lashed over the bar. It's a lovely ball then, and a decent contact as well, but always going over the bar from Charles. But a ball in, again, you know, they haven't got as many balls into those sort of areas as you'd expect, considering how bright they've been in Wrexham's half.
Well, it's Evans who's come right out onto this right wing. Like we said, they're vacating that middle of the pitch to then put the ball in for the two strikers who can then stay central. They're not being asked to run wide into wide areas.
Turton forwards, O'Connor does well to head it away as Marshall backs into him. Spencer does well to turn in his own half. Lonvike keeping the ball moving over to the left-hand side. Josh Ruffles feeding it in, and again Wrexham just keeping their shape and allowing Huddersfield to move around halfway, and Lonvike does well to evade Smith, works it out wide, but Wrexham keep their shape. A probing ball then is a poor one. Like I said, Wrexham keeping their shape, forcing a hopeful ball by Spencer, goal kick for Wrexham. Josh Ruffles is a sentence in himself, isn't he? It makes me think of The Simpsons and that episode when Homer Simpson's in space and accidentally releases crisps. And Alan Shepard shouts, "Careful, they're ruffled." Every time I see him, I'll say his name, I'm thinking of that. Wrexham knocking it long here is Ruffles, and he puts it out of play for a throw to Wrexham.
Yeah, he's that bit of extra experience in that back three, isn't he? Relatively young. Two next to him. I think he's got over 300 games in the EFL, so you know, a player with real experience.
So he should be unruffled, really. Long ball forwards by Okonkwo. Well won in the air by Smith, and Rodriguez has shown a good turn of pace, forces a hurried clearance, picked up by Smith, who drills it wide. He wants a goal kick, and didn't see any reason why myself, but
I think he'd rather have a corner.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
But,
yeah.
I don't think it was. I think he was just hopeful. Yeah, good pressure on though. Right in the middle of the pitch.
Did well to get after that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So Nichols with the goal kick. He tells his defenders to get the pitch. He wants to go long. 35th minute now, 0-0. Not much to report in terms of goal-mouth action, but a very lively, fast-paced game.
Yeah, I feel for Rodriguez a little bit. That position is really tough to play because they're asking him to come and help in the middle of the pitch when we haven't got the ball.
Oh, he's done well there, nodding the goal kick forward. Smith just beaten to it by the last defender, Lonvik. Terrific lunging tackle. Or Smith was in on goal. Great challenge.
Yeah, but then he's being asked off the back of that to be on the flick of Smith when he manages to win one in the air. So you can't be in two places at once. We really want the ball falling on Rodriguez to flick to Smith, who's already in that position.
Well, it nearly came off in an unorthodox way there, didn't it? Poor goal kick. Rodriguez has had it, and if it wasn't for the terrific last-ditch tackle by Lonvik, Smith would have been one-on-one. So, free kick in midfield, left-hand side. Huddersfield have a chance to put it into the danger area. Signal comes in, and the ball is ripped in towards the penalty spot. Flicked towards goal by a defender, and Okonkwo stops it going for it. Oh, he doesn't. Linesman's given the corner. I must admit, I thought he'd got there, but he was stretching for it. Yeah, ball ripped in, definitely Gamo's defender. Yeah, there's a corner of it looking at, is it?
It looks like he might just maybe reach out. Yeah, I think
he's off the pitch as well, isn't he?
Definitely is.
Yeah,
Good
when you look at his
by the linesman.
Yeah. He looked in control of it, didn't he? He didn't look terribly hurried by it, but it is a corner.
Yeah, the acting was good.
Yeah. So Okonkwo is being hemmed in. This will be an in-swinger. Olshere is there as a second man, but it is dinked beyond the far post, and O'Connell's header drops in the box. Shot comes in, which is blocked well by Rodriguez. Got tight to his man. It's cleared for a throw 30 yards out left-hand side.
Yeah, it was a nice idea of Huddersfield. Lonvik just heads it back into that dangerous area. No one's made that run. The ball actually is allowed to bounce, which is normally such a problem for defending teams. But Wrexham managed to clear.
Riskin takes the throw. And the ball is dug back to him now then. Across to Evans, who slots it in. Good ball into the edge of the area. Shot deflected, but it took the pace off it. And Okonkwo goes down low to his left and saves. It was a nice interchange again. They're very quick with these little one-touch little flicks on, aren't they?
Yeah, good combination. You want your front two to try and create a chance. Really good powered ball into his feet so he can just set first time for his mate coming around the front of him. Just get a little bit on it though, the Wrexham defenders, which takes the sting out of it. And Okonkwo's able to just gobble it up.
Long kick. Smith touches it on nicely, but Lonvik again is there to intercept and feed it into midfield. Good purposeful first touch by Marshall, but a poor, I beg your pardon, by Collins, but a poor pass. And now here is Longman on the halfway line. Back to Dobson and then back to Cleworth and then back to O'Connell, who takes a forwards touch, gets his head up, has a look at his options before going back to Okonkwo, and Wrexham shifted to the left-hand side. O'Connor. Wrexham patient, have drawn 3 Huddersfield players out on the press. Okonkwo feeding out wide to Cleworth. And now he has a bit of space to come forwards. Rodriguez drops off in midfield to offer. Fed instead to Longman. Longman on the right. Holding off his man. That's good terrier-like work. And James, though, picks up the loose ball. Good feet by Cleworth to receive the pass. And Longman, I think, spins inside now then. Possibilities, edge of the area. Switched across to Revan. His touch isn't the best. Still got it, though. And he's got his man isolated. He pulls it back, edge of the area. Longman mishits his shot against his own body. Clearance goes high in the air. Smith battling for it in the box as well. Gets up and nods it to Dobson. Dobson will have to clear us out of there. It's too crowded. Cleworth in the end goes back to the halfway line to O'Connell. O'Connell squaring it. O'Connor. Huddersfield in a mid-block, but having to dig deep a little bit here to hold Wrexham off. Rathbone's found a bit of space in the middle of the pitch. James, Wrexham need to keep this ball moving. James sees his passing channel blocked. O'Connell looks to thread it through, doesn't find Smith. The break is on. Shareva, good ball, and it's fed nicely on, and it's 1-on-1 against the Conquo. Collins lashes it over the bar. Such an uncomposed finish. That was all. Wow, a real opportunity, and he just slashed it into the crowd.
Yeah, it's absolutely the best opportunity of the game so far. Marshall does everything right, puts it on a plate for him. And you're thinking this is it for Dion Charles. That's your first goal in a Huddersfield shirt. And he doesn't even hit the target. It's so poor from him. And what was a real chance, Wrexham really sloppy. Owen O'Connell just plays one down the middle, which is never on. After being in control of that ball for a couple of minutes there, we just looked reluctant though to make that pass to break the lines.
Just O'Connell forcing it down the middle, central areas. Gives the opportunity, but Charles there never looked ready, did he? Really ready that he was comfortable in what he was going to be doing. And 1,000 things would have been going through his mind. Do I smash it? Do I place it? What do I do? In the end, he chooses neither.
Nice combination by the Wrexham strikers. Rodriguez works it wide. Longman has Cleworth going outside him. Longman's running purposefully in though. His cross is deflected into the goal mouth and partly headed clear and then volleyed away. Only as far though as James, who quickly feeds it to the right side of the box. Longman once more, left-footed shot is way off target. But in the second half of this first half, we have had good spells of pressure. We've worked shooting chances from at the edge of the area. Haven't quite been able to get that final bit of quality in the final third yet.
Yeah, he just chose the wrong option there, coming in on his weaker foot. He has got a good left foot, but running away from goal, I think he could just maybe play. But the first time I've seen a ball into Smith's feet, into a set for Rodriguez, a little bit of a relationship there between the two today. And then we get Longman up the pitch a little bit better.
Goal kick taken. Yeah, there have been some promising signs going forwards for Wrexham as O'Connell wins a good header. Huddersfield feed it forwards. Cleworth was determined to make that his. Here's Evans now, having to tame the balls that comes through him quickly. He feds another nice forwards pass, and it's turned around the corner well by Collins. Out wide by Marshall. Ruskin running at Longman, who backs off. Ruskin goes round the outside, then checks back, plays at the corner of the box. Trewa onto his left foot, gets past James and drills it across the face, just wide of the far post. Great hit that. And the Conquo, I think, may have had it covered, but it was a lovely left-footed strike by Trewa.
Yeah, and you just always fancy him on those one-on-ones, don't you? He's quite unlucky in the end. He catches it so well, but Matty James just gets sent a bit too easily. And then Max Cleworth is doing his best to get across, can't get anything on it. And yeah, it just goes wide of that post.
It's livening up as the half wears on. The chances are starting to come. 2 minutes of the half left. That was a great strike just across the face. Long goal kick. Rodriguez does well to flick it on. Revan just beaten to it. And the ball drops out for a throw to Wrexham on the halfway line, left-hand side. It's fascinating, though. Both sides showing threat. O'Connor with the ball in his hands on the halfway line, throws it down the line. Rodriguez beaten in the air, throw in to Wrexham, 30 yards out from goal. O'Connor has the ball in his hands again, throws down the line, and Rodriguez gets it well. Smith scrapping for it, Lonvike puts it out for a throw 10 yards out. Wrexham creeping down the left in increments. Huddersfield decide it's time to send their one attacking player back to defend as well. Revan receives it from the throw, swings in a nice ball. Smith beaten well in the air by Ruffles. Dobson on the right flank to Cleworth. Early crosses, got good shape on it. Dobson beaten crucially to it in the air. 6 yards out by Lonvike. Cherewa loses the ball sloppily though. Good work by Wrexham, by Dobson to keep possession. O'Connell now keeps the ball moving. Cleworth once more has got that position in the Huddersfield half. He comes forwards, feeds it inside. Dobson. Wrexham slowing it down on the right. Longman has two men to beat and can't get past the first one. Ruskin does well. Huddersfield looking to build out from the back once more. A pass is behind Ruskin rather, and he feeds it into Lonvike. He's got Smith putting him under pressure on the edge of the area, and Huddersfield get, I would argue again, a little bit of a lucky free kick as Chirewa goes down. Wrexham had won the ball high up the pitch. O'Connell wins it from the early free kick, taken too hurriedly, and Huddersfield give it away. Good ball down the line by Dobson for Longman, looking to use his pace against Ruffles. It's come off Longman last, goal kick. 2 added minutes. I'd be a bit edgy if I was Huddersfield, that they are allowing us opportunities. Maybe we're not quite taking full advantage of them, but you know, Longman is getting players isolated and running at them.
Well, Revan down this side as well did really well, really tight space. Just a little shift, sticks it in the box. Little bit of movement from the Wrexham players, but Huddersfield defend well.
So goal kick. We've already had 35 seconds out of the added time, as Nichols finally delivers. The ball's touched on and headed downwards by Marshall. Ruffles drilling it down the flank. Longman a full stretch, going, he head it square to Collins. He turns nicely, beats 2 men into the D, goes down. Ref goes, well, he's given a dive. I thought it was the other way around. I've got to be honest with you. It looked like there was contact on him to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has given the dive or whether it's because he then grabbed the ball with his hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rathbone definitely just trying to stop that run, isn't he? And it looks like there is a little collision of legs. So a bit unlucky, obviously, the Huddersfield fans making their views known as well. Wrexham maybe get away with one there just before the end of this first half.
Yeah, I think maybe they sort of came together twice, and it was maybe the first time Rathbone came and made contact that looked definitely like a foul to me, just outside the D. They then sort of came together again in the D, and that was when he went down. I'd call that a foul. And if you're going to call him up for handball, which you're right is what he's done, then should it be a yellow to this deliberate handball? I don't know. Anyway, a ball in behind the defence has Smith working hard and winning a throw right by the corner flag, which Revan will take. We've had the 2 minutes. Huddersfield fans are not happy as Wrexham are on the attack, but we didn't have any football in the first 40 seconds of this because Nichols took a long time over his goal kick. Revan throws it in short, digs out across to the near post, which Lonvike slices for the corner, and the ref then stops. Wrexham complain, but yeah, the ref's the only arbiter of time. That's his decision. 0-0 at half time, and Wrexham, well, I don't know, you're sort of satisfied. Huddersfield have got at us and looked threatening. We've had our moments of threat and promise as well. It's been an entertaining game, but I suspect both managers would like to just batten things down with their defences a bit more when they haven't got the ball, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Huddersfield came out really well, and you know, for a few minutes there I was thinking, oh, it could be a bit of a long night this. You know, especially after they scored that offside goal as well. But Wrexham have had their moments and really grown into this game. Looked a lot more stronger as we got towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both teams will be probably a little bit more disappointed with not creating too much at either end. Both defences have done all right. The one glaring chance to Charles, who just smashes it into the Wrexham fans. But apart from that, neither keeper had a save to make. I think probably Arthur the more utilised, I suppose, than their keeper. But we've put a few crosses in, looked dangerous, but not really been able to get onto the end of them.
Yeah, it's had the feel of a game that will have a lot of goal-mouth action, and yet actually haven't that many opportunities created. And whether that's maybe sometimes players not quite being decisive enough going forwards, I don't know. Certainly, where was it? There was a point here on Ask Wrexham saying that we need to be maybe a bit more decisive. Jarvis saying Cleworth is like an extra man going forwards. I wish he'd press on. Barcode Mark saying Longman and Cleworth keep finding acres of space, but we don't get the ball to them quickly enough. But having said that, we are also, you know, we're the away team against a strong side, admittedly with poor home form at the moment, but we are getting into those good positions down the sides now, and we are starting to ask some questions.
Yeah, to me it's a game that's got a lot riding on it, you know, and so both teams, they're desperate to do well and want to do well. So they're going for the tackles. The intent is there, the desire is there to do well. The quality maybe just down a little bit to what we would expect. But both very, very cautious. For Wrexham especially, we're playing a lot of balls back from that central midfield where I feel that they could maybe just touch and then play Cleworth in a little bit earlier before it goes back to O'Connell to then go out to Cleworth. We could maybe go and then take the two strikers out the game.
So, yeah, exactly. It feels like a half-time where both managers can make important, substantial changes. I don't mean throwing subs on, but I think maybe just pointing out certain little pressure points in the pitch where you can see either side can make a difference, can make a breakthrough. And neither has quite. But this game feels like it could crack open for either side for me.
Yeah, and I think Chirewa is the one for me for Huddersfield. We've just got to try and nullify him as much as we can in this second half. I thought he went a little bit quieter towards the end of that first, but still he looks like the player with a bit of magic in his boots that could probably make a difference in this game for Huddersfield.
Yeah, I think both managers will be fairly pleased with their team, and like you say, maybe just a tweak here or there. Maybe they'll be looking to their substitutions later in the game to make a bit of a difference, because it is two Buffalo going head to head at the moment, isn't it? And we're just wrangling to see who's going to come out on top.
Exactly. I like that image. I'm enjoying that. On the subject of images, Tom Streeter, can I just say, Tom, your mind works like mine. You're obviously thinking about ruffles. You're saying it's a good job they don't have a player called Inert Carbon Rod. I'm sure it was Inanimate Carbon Rod, but anyway. Good to see that Tom, for one, welcomes our new armed overlords. Sherry, the Wrexham fan, asks, I have a half-time question. I have just one day to spend exploring northwest Wales before heading over to Wrexham. What should I see? I mean, the one-word answer is castles, I think. Would we say?
Agree, yeah, absolutely, especially with the sun being out over the last few days. I'm not sure what the forecast is for the rest of the week, but it's been absolutely beautiful over the last week or so in March already.
Carnarvon Castle's big and flashy. Beaumaris is pretty. I feel like there's a song here that I could be making up on the spot. Conway's newer, but very attractive. Mambo number 5 or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's that's your obvious. I suppose it's Snowdonia. The sort of countryside elements you can't go down. Jen asks, is anyone else missing Ollie Palmer's defensive prowess? Well, I think we've done okay on set pieces in terms of defending, so I'm feeling pretty calm about that. Barcode Mark, bit worried about Okonkwo's clearances and kicking. When he first signed, he was really good with that stuff. Well, I suppose, I'm not saying this is the case, but never underestimate the fact that goalkeepers sometimes, a little loss of confidence in your delivery can make a big, big difference in some ways more than other positions. The thing that's maybe slightly unusual with Okonkwo for me is that I sort of feel like a goalkeeper feeling a bit edgy about an early throw, where the consequences if it goes wrong is you probably give the ball away in your own defensive third when your players are getting up the pitch, is more common than a fear of the long ball forwards. But I can't help looking back to that defeat against Orient, where the fans were really getting wound up about wanting early balls played and then getting very wound up when they didn't find their mark. Okonkwo got a lot of bird in that match. And to be fair, I think his distribution wasn't very good. But, if you're getting 15,000 people shouting, for God's sake, what you're doing, it's going to make you want to be a bit more conservative, frankly, next time you're in that position.
Yeah, I think that night it was a case of whatever he did, he couldn't really win. Bit of a difficult one. But yeah, I think, sometimes, obviously, Arthur, we know how good of a goalkeeper he is, but it is just that thing like we're talking about in the midfield at times. Sometimes in that first half, we're just a little bit too slow just to make that decision. It looks like we're going to make it and then sort of change our mind in the last second and maybe go back and do the easy option. And I think with Arthur, you maybe just see that at times, that little bit of just lack that little bit of game intelligence to just know that, say off that corner early on, for example, that Ryan Longman's made that run, he should know where he's going to be. You know, that should be ingrained in his mind.
Ooh.
Northampton 1-0 up at Stockport, a half-time at home to Stockport. Birmingham drawing. Wickham ahead against Burton, just getting the League One half-time scores coming up.
James Jones has yet to strike in that match. Don't worry.
Yeah, just going back to Arthur's point, he's still a young keeper, but he's got his attributes that he's good at, and he's got his developmental points that he needs to work on. You know, all of us players that played had good attributes and stuff that we needed to work on that weren't so good. I couldn't hold the ball. I'm very poor at holding the ball up, but I could run channels. He's exactly the same, so it's just something for his development that he needs to continually work on, and I'm sure that they are working on that, feverishly, if you like, in training, just every day, just kicking balls and hitting spots out of his hands, because he's actually hit the two he's hit out of his hands today, and he actually put Marriott in Dinia the other day as well. He's hit them really well, but for me, he needs to do it a split second earlier for the ball to be running onto, rather than the striker waiting for it to come over his shoulder.
I mean, you'd much rather it be that part of his game he needs to work on.
Yeah, his shot stopping
exactly, yeah.
is really good.
So I think, you know, you've got to look at it like that and see it as only a positive that, like Andy says, he's still so young, and you know, there's still a lot to come from him, which is really exciting.
And like you said, that delivery when he did play the ball for Longman wasn't bad, although it was a ball that, because of the circumstance and the slight delay, Longman had to fight to make the most of. Whereas if he delivered it early, he and Smith were goal side to their defenders. But yeah, these things will develop, and there's a lot to do from there to turn it into a goals. So yeah, let's not forget all those positives that he brings, because he is a heck of a capture for Wrexham. Now here we are, Janie Lightning is watching from Cosm in LA. Now that's great, but because she's one of the better people on the planet, is syncing our commentary to it, rather than listen to their commentary. Quite right too. Well done.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're in 3D as well, isn't it? Isn't that lovely? We've also got. I don't know if I need to point out the fact that I had a gambling tragedy at this ground about 30 years ago, and this is despite the fact that I very rarely ever put a bet in anything, not seriously single figures. But I remember I was in this stand, Wrexham were playing here in a League Cup match at the start of the season. It was late 90s, and it was in the early days of when they'd have bookies inside stadia. But then, of course, I mean, I was in the home stand, and it's obviously aimed at home fans, so the odds on Wrexham was silly. They just had not bothered to sort of properly check what Wrexham were like, because nobody in the stand they thought was going to bet on Wrexham. And first scorer, at very long odds, Carl Connolly. And I'm thinking, well, Carl Connolly, A, scores a lot of goals, and B, takes our penalties. That is a man who, you know, he was like something daft, like 20 to 1. I'm thinking, hello. And so, big time, big roller that I am, I fished a pound coin out my pocket, did the requisite paperwork, handed it in, like I was making a substitution, and wandered off and sat there very smugly as Wrexham started brightly and won a penalty. Carl Connolly, penalty king, pops the ball in the spot, takes a deep breath, wanders up and hits the coolest Panenka you've ever seen. But Mark Rachubka, the Huddersfield goalkeeper, didn't move. And the ball barely reached him. I lost that pound, and I've never forgiven Carl Connolly for it since. Heartbreaking.
And did Wrexham win the game?
No, not very much.
Okay.
We lost 3-0 here and then 2-1 the home leg. And it was a sort of classic old Wrexham second leg where we have no chance. They were a division higher as well. So they were second division and we were third. And 3-0 in the second leg, you think you've got no chance. I remember Craig Skinner scored a header, which wasn't a massively regular occurrence, him scoring with his head. And we gave it like a really good fist, but we were never going to do it. But you just felt, ooh, if that next goal could go in, it was just classic classic old
The oh
Wrexham.
so close.
Yes,
What
exactly.
could have been.
He used to specialise on those. Man. Apart from a newer manager, of course, we were too busy
Oh so close.
battering teams, weren't we then, to be fair. Let's have a little look, see what else we got on Arse Wrexham. Okay. Simon Johnson, I really need your opinions on this. This may just be me, but does Matty James look a bit like Shakin' Stevens? Mia, perhaps that's asking a bit much of you, as Shakin' Stevens, the capital city of Wales, obviously died long before you were born.
Behind the green door.
Behind a green door.
Oh, he was
Well,
a favourite in my day.
I'm-
All
I'm ve-
denim.
I'm very confused.
Full denim.
I don't know what's going on.
Google.
I'll get a picture up for you now. Shakin' Stevens.
Did he have a Christmas song?
Oh,
He did.
yeah.
Oh,
Merry
see.
Christmas, everyone.
See? There we go.
Snow is falling all around us. Children playing, having fun. I am bluffing while I Google Shakin' Stevens. Merry half time, everyone. Oh, that's a modern picture of him. You're doing a modern picture of him. Insofar as he could ever be modern, because when he was massively successful in the 80s, he was doing music from the 50s. Now, there you go, Mia. There's
See,
Shakin'
I
Stevens.
recognise the modern picture, not the 80s picture.
Really?
So, there you go.
I didn't recognise
Double
it.
denim. He started
Yeah.
it. Mia. That's where it all started.
The South Walian Elvis he was. He was huge throughout the 80s, had a lot of #1 singles. And also did one fabulous performance, which I think has been taken down off YouTube, sadly, on a German pop song show in the 80s, which was huge. And all the big British bands used to go and do it, called Rock Palace, in which he was really drunk, came on stage, didn't bother miming, was just like wandering around the stage while the lyrics, obviously, they're all miming. The band are there going along, playing, pretending to play along. He's just like wandering up and down, waving at the audience and stuff and not miming. Then 2/3 of the way through, he walks off the stage, doesn't come back on for ages. You can say his voice is on, and then he walks off, loses his balance and falls on the drum kit and sends it all flying. It's a beautiful performance by him. Substitution. And it's going to be Lasse Sorensen who comes on. I thought they put up the 23 there. 26 surely, is it? Does Ruskin come off? No, Ruskin's out there.
It's
Turton, is it?
Longwake, I think, has gone
I
out.
is
think you're
Longwake.
right.
All right.
Longwake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turton.
He'll go into the back three, Turton. Spencer into the middle.
Another
Turton.
blow for Huddersfield, that, though. If
Yeah.
that's
Two
injury, I wouldn't have thought.
Already.
Wouldn't have thought that's tactical.
Well, he
Absolutely.
cleared the ball. The last ball that was kicked in the first half, he cleared it out for a corner, but
Well, he made that big tackle as well, didn't he, just before time on, Smith? Whether he took a knock when he did that, he probably saved him a goal. As here, Huddersfield restart, and O'Connor heads the ball partly clear. Rathbone does well to help it on. But Rodriguez looks to knock it over the top, gets so wrong, and Steve looking for Sam Smith. I do have a little bit more Shakin' Stevens to come, but I'll wait up for when there's a stoppage.
that was actually a chance just there, just to play into the space, and just got it all wrong.
And Rodriguez has been doing that well, I would argue, in the first half. Didn't manage that on that occasion, as Revan as well tackled, throwing on the halfway line to Huddersfield. Sorensen leaves it. It's thrown in to the midriff of Collins. Huddersfield in midfield, feeding it back into their own half. Dobson, a little bit of pressure on, forces the back pass. And Nichols, the keeper, playing the ball out short. Ruffles. I did see someone started a drinking game. Whenever I say Ruffles, they take a drink of Alexum Lager as the ball is helped on. Marshall is offside. I'm not encouraging you to play drinking games. That free kick looked like it was taken with a rolling ball by Matty James. Ref doesn't give it, and Dobson turns straight into trouble. Needed a shout there. Huddersfield have it on the left-hand side. The ball rolled forwards by Ruskin, who now has switched flank. Well run by Longman. Intercepts nicely. Rodriguez turning it around the corner well. Finds Smith, who holds it up really well. Pops it off nicely. Now, Rathbone has got Rodriguez on the run. Uses the space behind Rodriguez that the striker's opened up, and Longman renewing acquaintances again. Ruskin gets a good toe in. Rathbone to the loose ball. Surrounded by Huddersfield players. Loses it. And now here is Ruskin again with the early diagonal. Sorensen attacks it. O'Connor is able to nod it square, and Revan gets it back to him. Cleared long and will be tidied up by Spencer.
Yeah, we just don't help each other at times. Just a little bit too static. Ollie Rathbone gets on the ball in a good little position, gets crowded out, and there's just no runners round him. He has to turn back and then runs into more Huddersfield shirts.
Here are Huddersfield again, building from the back. Spencer, as Andy said, now in the centre of the midfield three, and Turton, the right-sided centre-back. Here he is, driving over the top. It's not the worst idea, but it's really overhit and easily through to Okonkwo. Cleworth driving forward. Smith fakes to go over the top. It's played down the flank for Longman. That's a difficult pass to get right, and he sliced it as well, throw in. Which Huddersfield will take level edge of the area, left-hand side. And Dobson has gone down. He just turned into that challenge, didn't he, before? And Wrexham have got Elliot Lee ready to come on. Well, that's a blow, isn't it? Dobson has been in really good form lately in that right-sided central midfield position.
Yeah, and we knew he had a little problem, a little niggle before that Bolton game. And it looks like, I'm not sure if he is holding that ankle, which I think it was. But yeah, Elliot Lee stripped and ready to go. So I think he knew straight away, didn't he? But a real blow, like you say, Mark. He's been really good for us in these last few weeks. I know we've spoken a lot about how maybe we prefer him in that central role, that midfield, but you know, he's really not too bad either on either side too. He's been a real important player for us, real good signing over the summer. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but he heads straight down the tunnel. Well,
it was the Peterborough game, wasn't it, that the kick was, and then it's just had no chance to recover because we've gone game straight away. Not a bad replacement though to be bringing on. Maybe somebody that can just maybe get on the ball a little bit, unlock one of these passes that we need to just unlock this defence.
Yeah, absolutely. And he needs pitch time as well, doesn't he, Lee? Let's be honest. He's had an unfortunate layoff after his road traffic accident. He's got into that familiar left-sided role of the three, with Rathbone just switching across to the right. Throw-in which Cleworth will take. Throwing down the line, looking for Rodriguez, headed out of play. Another throw to Wrexham, about 30 yards out, right-hand side. Longman will take this time. Two strikers are available, and Rathbone comes short and receives. Longman put under pressure by Chirewa. Goes back to the halfway line. Huddersfield strikers and Chirewa step out to try and put pressure on. O'Connell lifts over the top. Smith as well, back to goal, holds it up, flays in Rathbone. Longman ahead of him. He prods it to him. They're all a bit close together. Rathbone does well to dink it back down the line. No, he doesn't. Just too much on it. I thought he'd put a little bit of backspin on it, but not enough. Goal kick.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for him to control. I think he's just leaning back off balance, so he can't quite catch it as he would have wanted to, but he's unlucky in the end. Ryan Longman just, at that pace of his, can't quite reach that one.
So, the ball back with Nichols, the keeper, who rolls it out short. Ball dinked over the top, something for Trevor to chase. Cleworth will get there first. He's been put under pressure well by Marshall, who pushes him in the back. Free kick by the corner flag. Also, fans aren't happy, but clear shove there.
Yeah, that was quite obvious for me. As he's just about to swing his leg at it, it just takes it out.
If you Google Shakin' Stevens, lipstick, powder and paint, there's a fabulous video on YouTube where he's performing it on a catwalk and he falls off it near the end of the song. Completely, you know, it's and then he just pops his head up with a cheeky little grin as if to say, I'm still alive, don't worry. I just advise you all to do that. Good work in midfield by Rathbone, just charging down Evans' attempt to play the ball forwards. Throw to Huddersfield, deep in their own half. 52nd minute, Wrexham fans making good noise. Short throw to Evans, and Wrexham immediately looking to pen Huddersfield into the corner. Spencer's clearance, nicks off Smith. Throw in. Smith applauds Rathbone and Rodriguez and James, who'd all stepped in. But Wrexham rather switched off that time as the throw in's taken. And Lee can't arrive in time before the ball is switched over to the right-hand side by Hodge and then carried down the flank. Sorensen has to go back to Hodge in the middle of the pitch. It's Spencer now moving it on. Ruffles feeding it on to the left-hand side. Ruskin's going to have to go back to the halfway then. Evans is so neat and busy on the ball, though Rodriguez did well then. Gave him a little bit of trouble. He's managed to sort his feet out and keep possession. But Wrexham are working hard around the halfway line just to stop Huddersfield having an easy pass into the Wrexham half. In the end, it's fed forwards nicely. Marshall did well to show for it. Rathbone clips him. Free kick in midfield. Collins wanted to tee it up for a quick take, and it's a lured piece made by Ruffles, who runs onto a short free kick and works it wide. That was good. Ball's crossed in by Ruskin. Good stooping header by O'Connor, and a nice layoff by Rodriguez. Can Rathbone, deep in his own half, start something? Looks for Smith. Good ball, but he's isolated. He's got support coming. Smith's done brilliantly to find Rathbone, and Rathbone's unlucky. He tries to play an early ball in for Lee. He was making a good run and was unmarked, but Lee stopped his run. If he'd kept going, Rathbone was looking to pick him out.
Yeah, and I think he stops because it looked like Smith was running into a brick wall, really. But he does really well to keep that ball under control, play it back to Rathbone. And it would have been one of the passes of the season if Elliot Lee had carried on running.
Smith is very good at chasing down passes that you think, well, he's not going to be able to keep hold of it, or he's not going to be able to keep it on the pitch, but he does. His close controls and his strength is good, isn't it? And he holds onto it in those awkward, tight little cul-de-sacs. As the ball is fed down the side of Wrexham's defence, easy for Cleworth to pick out. Longman, cute little ball around the corner. Rathbone back to Cleworth, who feeds a good early ball. That's nice, snappy play by Wrexham. Was Smith fouled? Ref says not. Evans driving forwards. Could hit this. Looks to slide in the pass. Evans paces important. Sorensen wins the corner. Wrexham feel Revan was pushed over, and to be fair, he was going at speed, so a small contact could be enough to knock him over, but I think the rest will be right to give the corner.
I don't know why Hodge doesn't just pull the trigger, though. He's running onto goal 25 yards out. Just pull the trigger. You never know what might happen. He slides him in. Revan does really well as a recovery. Maybe could have just gone back if somebody, set a Okonkwo to clear, but safer than sorry.
Again, there's a big barrier in front of Okonkwo as the in-swinger has clipped to the near post and headed well wide. Is it a corner? No. Goal kick. It was, I think, Marshall who got there first at the near post, but his downwards header just went well wide.
Well, yeah, like you said, they had loads of bodies round Arthur and they don't hit him. They just go for that near post one. It just doesn't quite work.
I think the idea is that they pin him into the middle of his goal and then hit that front post, but they were like 6 yard work right outside the front post and delivery not quite on point.
Yeah, the only troubling delivery they had was that early one that they managed to put to the far post, the Lonvike one, but beyond that, Wrexham have looked pretty solid, I think, on set pieces, as O'Connell has to come across and head it out to play, throw to Huddersfield, 30 yards out, taken quickly again by Sorensen. Coming back from injury, a good wing back he is, as he feeds it into the centre circle. Ruffles to Lonvike. They keep the ball moving again, left to right, and Sorensen is available, receives it 30 yards out. Good. Well, Revan penalised. It's quite interesting. The ref. I'll say interesting. It's classic football fan behaviour. Looking on Arse Wrexham, the Wrexham fans are all furious about the ref, who was booed off by the Huddersfield fans. Everybody dislikes this ref. He's given a few for not that much contact, like that one there, I would say. He could perhaps have carried on a little bit more.
I think most refs are disliked by fans.
You could argue
just
that means
simple.
they're doing well.
Let's just keep it
exactly
simple.
So anyway, it's a free kick about 30 yards out on the right touchline. Wrexham have got everyone back defending. Signal and a ball swept in. Okonkwo's there, foul given already to Wrexham as Rathbone is knocked to the ground. So Okonkwo has got a free kick. 57th minute, still no score. And a lively game, but not that much in terms of goalmouth action. Rathbone on the right, driving over the top. That's a nice idea for Smith, and he's done well to nod it down to Rodriguez. It's the first time! Brilliant save by the keeper. What a hit by Rodriguez. He nailed it from 25 yards. It was rising brilliantly. Great save to his right by Nichols.
Techers. Wow, coming straight onto it on the half volley. Hits it absolutely sweet. Just a great height for the keeper.
Wrexham again scrapping on the edge of the area, but on this occasion Spencer does well to win it. Smith did well to make something of it, and then Rodriguez, wow, as Longman manages to put pressure on the ball and force it backwards. What a hit that was by Rodriguez. Whew. As again Wrexham looking to pressure, force a poor ball forwards. And Huddersfield have a player down again. For goodness sweet, this injury crisis they've got. Well, they've lost 2 players, it seems, to injury, and
Is that Marshall?
I think it may well be. Well, they can't afford to lose him, goodness me. He's looked very lively, isn't he, and sharp. But yeah, that effort by Smith then. By Rodriguez. Smith did ever so well backpedaling to just cushion it back to him. And Rodriguez, boom.
Keeper does well because he moves his feet, takes a couple of steps before he goes. He's a big lad as it is. But good, great hand out as well. Good all-round football there, right there. Good hold-up play, good strike, good save.
It was a proper Jamie Tolley special, that, wasn't it?
Straight leg.
Yeah, straight on it, bang. Oh. Both sets of fans making a lot of noise behind that goal. As the treatment continues, Huddersfield, I mean, if Marshall does have to come off, because they've used their free substitution. Oh no, they haven't, beg your pardon. One was half time. I was thinking about substitution windows. So he's up. Chiré was getting instruction from Kevin Russell. Ex-Wrexham legend, of course. He's assistant manager here.
Set up my first goal for Wrexham. Did Kev Russell.
Yeah.
Little chip into the middle of the box away at Colchester. Diving header off my shoulder. Rolled into the bottom corner.
Misguiding the keeper there, misdirection. Yeah.
Absolutely.
As here now the throw-in is taken. Marshall looks like he will be coming back on. As Wrexham are moving it around on the edge of our area. Marshall is gesticulating angrily at the referee. 30 seconds. I don't know, again, there's no thing of the fans having a pop at the ref over this. It's nowhere near 30 seconds yet. You can't let him on. Rathbone stands up the diagonal. Smith does well to make a challenge for it, and James nods the second ball forwards, nearly gets onto the ricochet. It's hooked clear, and now Marshall is on the pitch, and O'Connell will go back to Okonkwo. And again, it's one of the many levels of stupidity about this 30-second rule is that Marshall's allowed to charge on the pitch and nearly challenge because the players don't realise that he's on the pitch yet. Okonkwo knocks it long. Rodriguez is fouled. Free kick in midfield. Rathbone pops it short. Cleworth driving forwards for the first time in this half. Longman taking on Ruskins. Quick feet, just shifting the ball side to side. Good challenge by Ruskins. Longman, keeps control of the ball. Back to Cleworth, and he's won a corner. His foot in from Chiré was a good one.
Yeah, I think Longman's had moments tonight, but to be fair, Rushkin's really dealt with him well. Hasn't really allowed him any real clear-cut opportunities, and when he has, Ryan Longman just hasn't quite had that little bit of quality that we've seen him deliver so far, but you just feel like that moment's still coming for Wrexham.
Because O'Connor, can he deliver it with the in-swinger? Wrexham fans are behind the half of the goal that O'Connor is standing in front of. Wrexham got a crowd of players around the edge of the 6-yard box. It's swept in dangerously and headed away from under the bar. It looks to me like Rodriguez just tried to back in and block players off, take them out, quite frankly. They're going across the face behind him because he'd done that, but it was a Huddersfield head that made the contact.
Yeah, it's a tactic that's been used against us in this season a number of times, and a few times has caught us out, that little bit of blocking. So good to see us using it to our advantage for once.
Purposeful run and pass by Longman, but he doesn't get it right. Ruffles intercepts. And now in the middle of the pitch, Rathbone just hassling and forcing Hodge to play it backwards. Huddersfield have it in their own half. Sorensen pops it in neatly for Collins, who lays into midfield. Evans with a cute idea, knocking it with the outside of his foot, but he doesn't get it right. O'Connell clears. And the referee again gives a free kick for not a lot of contact this time by Elliot Lee. Huddersfield take it quickly. have it on the halfway line. Wrexham yet to really get Lee into this game, as poor ball to Sorensen, can't keep it in, throw to Wrexham in their own half. Lots of conversation on the Huddersfield bench, the manager Duffy turning round and constantly consulting. They need to try and find something. They haven't put that much threat together in the second half yet, as Wrexham again scrapping in midfield. Revan tries to get a foot in. Falls though for Ruffles, who goes driving forwards and hits a pass which Rathbone gets a block on. Longman under pressure wins a throw deep in his own half.
He works hard, doesn't he, Marshall? Up top for them, he's real handful. Never gives, or hasn't given any of our back three a moment's peace.
As George Dobson's ponytail on us, Wrexham says, I think Rodriguez looking sharp today. I would agree. I thought he looked sharp on Saturday as well. And there's more combination play between him and Smith perhaps than we've seen previously. Thrown on the halfway on left hand side. Davis King says it sounds like a home game for Wrexham with all the singing.
Yeah, they're making a noise. Couple of corners. Just lifted the mood a little bit.
Throw in taken, and Marshall gets that wrong as he tries to run around the corners. Some mutterings of discontent from the Huddersfield fans as Okonkwo comes across. Aaron Hayden has scored for Carlisle with what they're describing as a Mia Roberts-like header. And that's Wrexham on the left. A neat little return pass by Lee. Rodriguez unlucky to pass. Just sold him a bit short by O'Connor. Now there's a gap at the back which O'Connor's left. Revan is sprinting back to try and make amends. And it's an important challenge coming back to make that tackle. And Smith is now chasing the last ball and he's in on goal. Ref gives the foul. And that is a talking point. He certainly came together with the last defender, Spencer. Whether it's enough for a foul, I suppose it's consistent. But is it enough contact for a foul?
Yes,
Fair
I think
enough.
it is. The spin does take it though. He reads it, Smith, that he's going to just check.
Huddersfield feeding it forwards, but it's a difficult one for Marshall to control. Chiriwa picks up a weak clearance though. On the left-hand side, Wrexham trying to put him under pressure. Neat ball around the corner. Marshall, clever return pass. Chiriwa up against the last defender. Gets in the box. Pulls in a shot. It's blocked. O'Connell did well. He stood on his feet and forced Chiriwa to hit the ball against his legs. Now that's a cute ball by Rodriguez after Lee brought it away well. End to end is Longman running at Ruskin. Again, Ruskin's done well. Just got a toe to it. And that knocked him off balance. And Longman is tackled then by the retreating Ruffles. End-to-end stuff here as now Huddersfield come forwards.
Well, Elliot Lee's done two brilliant pieces of defending in the last sort of minute. As they looked like they were going to break, did a little Cruyff turn when it just bounced loose to be able to take the sting out of the next phase. And then he does really well to come into the middle of the box. And as the cross is pulled back, he fills the gap and is able to clear.
Just feels like it's coming to the boil a little bit, this game. Free kick on the halfway line to Huddersfield. The ball is rolled back to Ruffles by Hodge.
Small team meeting in the dugout for the Wrexham staff. All four of them stood having a little chat. What do we do?
Hodge, just a nice ball down the side of Wrexham's defence, and Marshall's done really well to keep it alive, but good tackle by Longman and a good ball by Rathbone. And now Wrexham are breaking. Here is Lee again. Cuts inside into the centre circle. He'll have to slow things down a bit because there were no real obvious passes on. But Wrexham keep it going and Clewer finds Longman. Now he's in behind Ruskin now. Will he play the early delivery? He's taking on Ruffles. Ruffles tries to force him wide. Left with the cross and Ruskin back and blocks it. Cross comes in from Rathbone. Good header by Sorensen as Smith attacks it. Lee squares it. Awkward for Matty James. He spreads it across to the right for Longman. Level the edge of the area. Rathbone now sets himself, rips it in the cross. Oh, and it's come off ahead for a corner. Nasty ball then, attacked by Rodriguez. Wrexham fans were asking for a penalty for handball when that cross initially came in, but none of the players did. It didn't look like handball at all. Wrexham with another set piece, another chance to put something meaningful in the box.
no penalty, but I thought we had the chance on the second phase that we could have got maybe Rathbone round him or wait for Cleworth to come round him, because there was only one defender. We had 3-on-1. Could we have got into a little better position, but Rathbone whips it in. Good defending again.
O'Connor then with the corner. O'Connor's arrived late and is being shielded by two teammates as the ball is swept beyond all of them. And Cleworth nods it in the goal mouth. Important foot in, and James can't quite get it edge end. Now can Jerewa Blake. He allows Marshall to take over, driving through the middle. Lunging challenge from behind is given as a foul and a yellow card to Cleworth. Cleworth can't believe the foul's been given, never mind a card. But he had to stop that attack one way or the other. I think he's got the ball there, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he has. I'm quite surprised the ref's seen it the other way, to be honest. I thought it was just a little bit of a heavy touch from Marshall. Cleworth seen his opportunity to jump in and stop the attack. I think he's got it right, to be fair to him. Maybe just a little bit unlucky that he goes through the man as well.
Ryan Barnett is ready to come on. You would assume for Ryan Longman, who's not asked as many questions, I'd argue, of Ruskin as in the first half, but they can't get him on because the free kick is taken. I think that's a poor booking for Cleworth, and the ref had kept up with it really well too, which, like Mia said, means it's a bit of a surprising mistake by him. Matty James looks to turn the defence. Smith gets it well and blocks Ruffles' view, and he nods it to Rodriguez, who, nice idea, looks to put Smith in again. Ruffles intercepts though and feeds a neat ball out, which invites Chirewa to turn out and run in at Cleworth. He's driving in on the diagonal. Good tackle by Longman, but it drops for Marshall, who holds it up, tries to turn. Collins looking for support. Wrexham crowd round him. Ball fed backwards. Ruskin's cross in. Marshall tries to take it on her chest. He can't quite. And James as well to improvise little header to Longman, who drills it long left-footed. Smith being held on the halfway line. The crowd, Wrexham fans shouting with a foul. Ref doesn't give it. And now Huddersfield can build out from the back again. We're into the 70th minute. 0-0 still. Seeing two sides up at the top end of the table. Is there going to be a breakthrough? Chirewa again dropping deep.
Well, neither side will be happy with a point, I don't think, so you'd like to think both are going to absolutely go for it in this last 20 minutes or so, which should make for a really good game.
You just don't want to lose it though, do you? So do you set for a point, or do you go for it? Who would be a manager?
Turton overhits a pass, goes behind for the goal kick. Chance to bring Barnett on, but it looks like there may be a rethink here. They certainly don't seem to be making that move. Barnett still lurking on the side of the pitch, but the goal kick is taken. Ball's fed back to Cleworth. Barnett still waiting, but whether we're going to bring another player on that. Okonkwo knocks it long. The ball hangs in the air. Smith gets up and barges into Hodge. Free kick in the middle of the pitch. I'll just take it quickly. They've had there's going to be another change. Stephen Fletcher's getting ready to come on as Revan overcommits. Stronson gets inside him. Wrexham got bodies behind the ball. They've got everyone behind the ball, in fact, as the ball is switched to Ruskin. A chance for him to have a go at Longman. Squares it inside Chirewa. Neat little change of feet. He sets it backwards. Ruffles sweeps it into the far post. O'Connor heads it away well. Lee wins an important ball on the edge of the box. Hodge with the shot just over. Okonkwo lunging at it, may have had it covered, but good effort that by Hodge, and Wrexham survive.
Yeah, and again, good little move from Huddersfield. That man, Chirewa, again causing problems, and it just falls really nicely for him, doesn't it? And he just can't wrap it round the Wrexham man coming out.
Yeah, he's just got on the ball a little bit more, hasn't he, Chirewa, at this last 5 minutes, and I'd like to see him on it less, please. Yeah, you and me both, definitely. So Fletcher's come on for Rodriguez. Barnett has come on for Longman. And Wrexham have got, well, plenty of physicality up there now with Smith and Fletcher. For me, Rodriguez has had a good game. Huddersfield are making changes as well. It's going to be Jonathan Hogg coming on. Thank you very much, Huddersfield Town.
Yeah, Chirewa coming off. And is that Ruskin as well coming off? On come Wiles and Hogg.
That might be a change, is it? System.
You would think, wouldn't you? As Ruskin's not been as threatening going forwards, but I'm still sort of fairly happy to see him come off, if I'm totally honest. We've got Turton now doing what he did on Saturday and switching from the right to the left.
Just that Hogg in the middle.
Looks like, doesn't it? Hogg in the centre of the three. There's Smith backing in, can't quite get to it. The ball's hacked clear. And goes out off Sorensen, throw to Wrexham, 15 yards into Huddersfield's half. So Wrexham, a couple of like-for-like changes. Barnett on the right for Longman, and he'll have a chance to have a go at Turton. As Huddersfield looking to go forwards. Matty James, well, looked more of a foul that than the ones the ref's been giving, as he clattered into his man. And now Rathbone is charging forwards, gets to the edge of the box. There's the cross, Smith is there! What a save! And somehow Fletcher scores! It's in! Wrexham score! Fletcher straight off the bench! 73rd minute! It was a scrappy goal. A brilliant save to deny Smith, but Fletcher from inches out just managed to dig out the finish. Huddersfield are furious. They felt it was a foul by Matty James. And I've got to say, the number of free kicks he's given for minimal contact, James really slammed into his man there, I thought. But the ref didn't give it. The ref surrounded by Huddersfield players complaining, but Fletcher has scored off the bench again. Great ball by Rathbone.
Smith on the floor, isn't it? He has the first header. Well, it's the first. That's arguably a free kick, isn't it, by James on their man. But Rathbone's ball in is just delightful.
Oh, yeah.
Just sets it. Smith should score the header. Good save. Fletcher follows it in. Smith's on the floor. I'm not sure how Fletcher's not offside either, but I'm not going to tell anyone.
I must admit, that was my first thought, was unless it's come off the keeper. And even then, if he shoots and it comes off the keeper,
he's going to be stood there.
Yeah, but he's virtually standing on the goal line, and the keeper's the only player back for Huddersfield. So apart from the fact Matty James body slammed a Huddersfield player in the build-up and that Fletcher was yards offside, it was a perfectly legitimate goal.
Well, I've turned the monitor off because I don't want to see replays.
Well, I think the refs had a great game today. I don't know about you two. But no, just again,
two big decisions right there, right?
Absolutely massive, especially for Huddersfield. They're absolutely furious with that one, but you've got to just play on and play to that whistle. I actually thought the ref had put the whistle to his mouth, but it never came. And then that Ollie Rathbone ball in, like you say, it's just absolutely delicious, isn't it? It's the striker's dream.
The ball is fed back to the keeper, Nichols. Wrexham I've got 15 minutes plus added time to dig in here and get what would be a huge victory. Huddersfield feeding the ball forwards. Collins tries to spin, good work. Connor stepped out, won it well. Ball forwards looking for the pace of Smith. Is overhit by James, good idea, but too straight. Fourth official's got a board again. I think it's Huddersfield, Huddersfield are making another change in a moment. But at the moment they've got the ball at the back. As it's Joe Taylor ready to come on. Cleworth backpedaling, wins the header well. Barnett hooks it on. Smith lays it off. Fletcher for once doesn't really anticipate. And as a result now Huddersfield look to come forwards once more. Hodge switching to the right hand side. Sorensen has got an underlap, doesn't use him. Whips in the cross straight into Okonkwo's hands. He just fumbled it, but he was in control, I think, of the situation. Looking to do a Miyabi, but it's, as he went down, it slipped out of his hands for a moment.
Yeah, just making sure it's not too straightforward, Arthur, there. Just putting her hands in her mouth, but
Ooh.
Yeah, I think just watching the replay of the Fletcher goal, looks like it's Sorensen. Maybe he just comes back a bit too early, but it's great striker play. You know, it's such experience to just sniff out where that ball's going to land and put it in the back of the net.
It's lovely from Wrexham. Smith with a good hold-up play. Lovely ball with the outside foot by Rathbone to find Barnett, who wins a corner. And the Wrexham fans are loving this now. O'Connor naturally in no rush to go up and take it. Joe Taylor, the striker they want to bring on, is not going to be brought on while they're defending a set piece. And so O'Connor jogs up, applauding the rapturous Wrexham fans behind the goal. He spots her up, taking his time. Huddersfield have everyone back defending. Well, if you guys listening thought the Wrexham fans sounded loud before, what must they sound like now? O'Connor under the bar, easy for the keeper. Huddersfield fans are complaining, but there's no pitch for him to find. He's rolled it out well. Sorensen driving forwards, running into trouble. Good tackle by O'Connor. Barnett using his pace to get there and hacks it off the pitch. Throw to Huddersfield, 25 yards out.
Yeah, you can't let the keeper come out and grab it when all the bodies are right in that 6-yard box. Somebody's got to stand on his toes, make it difficult for him, because then they're on the fast break. But the boys get around and crowd him out.
And that's a poor layoff, allows Smith to win the ball, but it's lost by Fletcher in the Wrexham half. And as a result, down the left-hand side, chance maybe for Collins to cross. He pulls it back intelligently to the edge of the box. Evans keeps the ball moving, so does Hodge. It's a poor pass. He prioritised the pace of moving the ball on with his accuracy. And Elliot Lee wins a free kick. Challenge comes in on him after the whistle's gone. Referee's just going to give the free kick, and that's that. And Joe Taylor can come on now.
Does well again, Elliot. There, I think he's been good in the moments he's been on the ball since coming off the bench. Just gets his body in, for a guy that's smaller than most of the rest. Uses that body strength so well.
So Taylor, striker, is coming on, and it's going to be the end of Josh Ruffles. So striker for a centre-back, which you assume can be a change of shape. Some guys in the Huddersfield press room before the match said to me that they believed Taylor was a target for Wrexham, and Huddersfield got nipped in ahead of him. So
yeah, he's come and he's got a little niggle. I think higher intensity training probably just put him back a couple of weeks, but gone to a 4. Just looking at Ollie Turton, he's played right wing back, right side of a 3, left side of a 3, and left back now.
He's filling his card, isn't he? Getting those stamps. Ball knocked forwards, good header away by Cleworth, well helped on as well by Barnett. But Huddersfield clear and can break now down the right hand side. Taylor is in the box to aim at, and it's fed forwards. Poor ball that. O'Connell intercepts well. Fletcher's done well to draw a foul in the halfway line. The crowd are getting really frustrated. Every decision that goes against them. That was a foul though, to be fair. Fletcher did well to get the leg there. He didn't buy the foul. He was brave and allowed himself to put himself in a position where he knew he was going to get a kick. Yeah,
that's what he's going to do. Going to have to do for the rest of this game now. They expect Huddersfield to come out even more and put Wrexham under more pressure. So when we can try and relieve that pressure and get that ball forward, we need our Fletchers and Smiths to really win those fouls and just break up that bit of play.
Free kick stood up to the edge of the box, and Fletcher wins it, nods it backwards, but it's helped on and touched on further by Smith. Lee can't quite get that. It's cleared. Stretching O'Connell heads it wide and out for a throw. Interesting results elsewhere as well. Northampton are still beating Stockport 1-0. Wickham are looking comfortable, 2-0 up against Burton. Birmingham are 3-1 down at Bolton, which I think puts that 0-0 draw of Bolton into a bit of perspective. Orient are losing at Rotherham. As in midfield, the ball is switched wide, and Huddersfield play a long ball into the box. O'Connor backpedaling, heads it partly away. Revan launches it high in the air, gets underneath that. Nobody can win it. Nobody wants to get their head on that when it come down so far. Revan does win it though, but it's not a good clearance. Sorensen cuts inside, gets in the box. On his right foot, puts it to the far post, and he's overhit that badly. Will it be kept in? Not quite, by the corner flag. Throw to Wrexham. But those results, I think, really show how important it is for us to keep going, not only to make sure we don't lose ground on Wickham, but also because teams below us are struggling.
But I think this is going to be like it for the next 13, 12 weeks, whatever we've got left, because it's just everybody's going to be playing everybody. Everybody's going to have a blip at some point. It's who can have the least amount of blips and just maintain their focus.
So Lee under pressure, fighting for the ball's lost it. Chance for a shot here. Driven forward, shot comes in. Too straight, and Okonkwo is comfortable in the way that he handles it. There's an opportunity there on the edge of the D and driven with power, but much too straight.
Yeah, well, Revan had set off, hadn't he, thinking Lee's going to get it. Lee wasn't able to make up the ground. Fortunately for Wrexham, it's straight at Okonkwo. Good hands, soft hands.
Kick again, just hangs in the air over midfield. Wiles, who had that shot, can't win this. And Smith battling, hooks it over the top. Fletcher's chasing, Hogg will get there first. Fletcher looked marginally offside, but last time I said that he scored and there was no flag correctly. As Huddersfield give it away sloppily. Rathbone ever on the move, feeds it in, and Smith nearly gets on the end of a through ball by Lee again. Hogg reads it well. Wrexham dropping back into that mid-block as Huddersfield once more have it. Hodge dinking it down the left. Honest running by Taylor. He just about keeps it in, does he? Well, he has. Fair play to him, but he can only... No, he hasn't. He prodded it along the line. Must have just gone out. So, not long left now. 7 minutes plus added time. Wrexham, a goal to the good thanks to Stephen Fletcher with another goal off the bench. And can Wrexham close this out? It's Okonkwo drilling it long. Fletcher backing in, creates a loose ball. Smith again gets there. Clash of heads. And the referee gave a foul against Smith, but it was clearly a clash of heads. Both of them have gone down. Smith is the first to recover. And we'll have a stoppage here as both players are treated.
We're just in the goal again. Keeper's made 3 ridiculous saves in there. And then as Smith's hooked it in, he's made 1 and it just rolls to Fletcher, who stood there. Thank you very much. They're the best, them goals. You're probably 2 centimetres out.
A stretcher has been readied, but neither player needs it. Smith was up quickly and is now complaining, why have you given a free kick against me? I think with some justification. It looked like a straight clash of heads to me. And the injured Huddersfield player is Turton. And so they got a stretcher out, but he was up. Both of them are being told to stay off the pitch. Jarvis at the last substitution said that it felt like their 27th sub. Well, looks like Turton, well, the way he's dancing around behind the linesman is going to be able to come back on, but it's 10 against 10 for the moment. As the ball is with Evans to Hodge. Barnett puts him under pressure and he has to feed it backwards. The 2 subs on the pitch, at least on this occasion. One runs on, the other one can cover him. As the ball is taken down the right-hand side by Huddersfield. Good foot in by Revan, who kept his balance well. Throw to the corner of the box is laid back. And Huddersfield looking to set themselves. Sorensen lays it off. They're trying to work that little triangle again, but Wrexham keep their shape well. Sorensen, though, turns well, level the edge of the area, feeds it square. Manages to latch onto it now, then can he hit the shot left-footed? He does, and puts it wide. Didn't quite get hold of it. Okonkwo, I think, felt he had it covered.
No, he just drives past 2 or 3 Wrexham players, doesn't he? All reluctant to put a foot in because he's in the penalty area. And then he just gets the shot wrong. Maybe has a little bit more time than he thinks. Just has a chance to set himself and just can't wrap it round again, can he?
Well, it's Wrexham happy with that because Okonkwo now can waste a bit more time. Drills it long and right-footed. It's flicked on well by Fletcher. Smith on the chase, but he's beaten to it. And now Sorensen again, who's been lively since he came on. But he's held up. And as a result now it's Evans working it across to Hogg. Quickly out to the left-hand side. Turton 30 yards out, but forced backwards and inside by Barnett. Wrexham 3.5 minutes plus added time away from what would be a huge win as level the edge of the box. Sorensen is available. Instead, it's Revan defending well. That's really good work by him. He's created a loose ball. And O'Connor's calm. He shapes that, clear it, then takes a touch and knocks it off Taylor for the goal kick.
Well done, Seb Revan. Really good 1v1. Doesn't let his man get a cross in, but also enables him to get his body across and just steal it off him. And well done, Tom O'Connor.
Jack Marriott is coming on now. And Smith's stint is over. He again, though, he leads the line with such physicality and has played a really important role for Wrexham here. Marriott now comes on, looking to see things out. And Wrexham, yeah, once again, I mean, Smith hasn't scored, but he's really been a spearhead for us, hasn't he?
Yeah, and again, I think we're still, particularly that midfield, obviously we're still learning his game, but sometimes he is literally feeding off scraps, but he does so well with them to bring that ball under control and get ahead of his defensive man. I think he'll be disappointed not to be leaving here with a goal tonight. Should have probably put that header in the back of the net, but luckily Stephen Fletcher was there. But again, promising signs for Sam Smith.
Here's Fletcher trying to get up now. Doesn't get that far. Headed clear by Wiles. Cleworth back over the top. Marriott chests it down, but Lee's not able to get to that. Sorensen now feeds it in around the backside of Wrexham's defence. Taylor's only got one man in the middle. Drills it in, and Connell deals with that nicely and knocks a ball forwards for Fletcher to chase. He won't get there first, but he will put pressure on. And the referee penalises him. He keeps going. Trips his man. Referee isn't going to take further action against him, and Huddersfield look to bring it out once more from the back. Turton crossing the halfway line on the left-hand side, feeding back into his own half. Hogg shifting it across to Spencer. Wrexham again with that familiar mid-block. 3 players up the pitch looking to put pressure on the ball to stop it getting through towards the edge of the area. Lee helping the strikers. The ball goes back again into the Huddersfield half. Hogg pings the ball out wide. It's got a lot of pace on it. It's kept in well by Turton, though, who delivers early. O'Connell underneath that, heads it away. Rathbone can't get to the second ball. Chance for a cross. Driven into the goal mouth. Ricochets off Taylor, and Conco comes, takes it, and drops on it.
Well, it was fired across. Real pace. Charles on his left foot, I think. It's just behind him, isn't it? And it just flicks up. Maybe just controlling it might have been a better option, but he tries to hook it in and it goes up off his shin pad, high and into the hands of Okonkwo.
Long kick by Okonkwo. Fletcher feels he is fouled, couldn't get to it. It's cleared. Revan gets a touch to it, knocks it forwards, but Huddersfield have it again. Sorensen laying it back. Spencer with the big switch, headed forwards by Turton, but straight to Cleworth. Wasn't the smartest pass to Turton. Cleworth's pass down the line looking for Marriott is inaccurate. Throw in, and we've got 7 minutes of added time. 7?
Don't sound too surprised, Mark.
Well, really 7?
It's been about 30 subs though, hasn't it?
Well, true. Here now is Sorensen standing it up towards the edge of the area. Cleworth underneath it is barged into, not given. Rathbone hooks it over his shoulder. Fletcher is there and is too physical. Free kick. Parkinson and Fletcher are not happy with that. Yellow card to Fletcher.
I don't think he need to do it. I don't think he could. I thought he was there, getting there first. So could he not just use his body? That's a bit excessive, isn't it?
Yeah,
but he could just ease him out of the way, I think, because I think he's getting there first.
Yeah, it's a bit obvious, wasn't it, really? I think you're right, excessive is a good way of putting it. He just made a lot of contact on him, didn't he? Free kick then. Chance for Huddersfield to put that ball into the Wrexham box. It's a free kick about, 35, 40 yards out, left-hand side. Wrexham have got everyone back apart from Jack Marriott, who is a one-man wall. And so, Hodge signals, sweeps it in towards the penalty spot. Good header, clear. O'Connell has won a lot of those. Marriott's on the chase, won't get there. And the ball is neatly flicked square by Sorensen. Hodge works it quickly out to the right flank. Huddersfield in midfield. Wrexham working hard through James and Marriott to try and stop that ball from coming in. And Wrexham are working very hard in midfield. There's a line of Huddersfield players on the edge of the area. But Huddersfield got the ball in their own half, trying to work this, and it's a lovely ball out towards Sorensen. No, it's not. Revan read it really well, intercepted. Wrexham handled that so well off the ball. James to O'Connor, good first-time ball to Revan, who lifts it forwards and surrenders possession, rather. Wrexham worked so hard there to claim that possession back, and Revan, who played his part, frustratingly then gave it straight back to Huddersfield.
Well, a similar thing's happening for Huddersfield as happened for us when we played Orient. There's 4 strikers stood up the pitch, and then they're 4, and we can break them with 5v4. If we can just nick the ball off them, then we're in.
Ball flecked forwards, and that should be a goal kick, as it was touched on, but not with any great effect by Collins. Wrexham fans still enjoying themselves. 2.5 of the 7. Yes, that's right, 7 added minutes. As Okonkwo again taking his time over the goal kick. Okonkwo. Right-footed. Hits it long. Fletcher jumps with Spencer, flicks it on well. Now Marriott backing in, does well to win the header, but obviously as Fletcher's already challenged, there's no one beyond him to flick it to. Long ball down the side of Wrexham's defence. O'Connor covers it well, launches it back where it came from. Fletcher's fighting away, cushions it nicely, and Lee has a little bit of space now to come forwards down the left-hand side. Others will get back quickly though. Lee holds on to the ball well and plays a pass which has too much of Revan, but O'Connor's there to the loose ball. Tries to chip it for Marriott, gets it wrong, but it goes out for a throw by the corner flag. Huddersfield quickly putting it back on the pitch, understandably. Time running out for them. 3.5 minutes left. We're halfway through the 7 added minutes. Ball goes back to Nichols. Nichols out to Sorensen, who's popped up on the left. He rolls it across, nearly gives a Marius, but he has managed to pick out a teammate, and Huddersfield again can come forwards down the right. Revan forcing the ball back to the halfway line. Big diagonal, stood up to the edge of the area, close underneath, can't win it, it drops loose. O'Connor, good strength by him, holds off Taylor, and O'Connell again is across to launch it clear for a throw to Huddersfield. Actually, it's kept in. Marriott was trying to challenge and got sidestepped.
Well, have we learned from the Peterborough game? Got to head it out of our box.
Yeah, that was not much fun that a week ago. Ball into the area once more, much too close to Okonkwo. Takes it comfortably and drops on it once more. Steve Parkin back in the bench, possibly to start a time-wasting substitution off. Wrexham now have just over 2 minutes to negotiate to claim victory. Fletcher flicks it on well. Marriott now on his own up front, taking on his man. He makes head towards the corner flag. He's robbed by Spencer. Ultimately, Marriott fights back and trips Spencer, which isn't the worst outcome because it's a free kick. Huddersfield take it as quickly as they can. Work it down the left and get it wrong. Throw to Wrexham, which I can guarantee you will not be taken swiftly.
No, it's so poor from Huddersfield. I thought it was a bit of an opportunity for him to just go long. Because just before that, Jack Marriott just, again, you're just thinking, just get it in the corner. I know we've still got 2 minutes or so to go, but let's just try and kill this game.
Throw down the line, won by Huddersfield, and they hook it over the top, headed away by O'Connell. Wrexham win the second ball. Barnett launches it long. Marius will chase that. Hogg has got no option but to work it back to his keeper. He then runs back and gets it back straight from him. And Huddersfield getting into the last chance saloon zone now. Ball on the right hand side of Sorensen, who has been lively since he's come on. Ball turned round the corner, but a poor touch, and again O'Connell is there to knock it clear. Sorensen on the right side, feeding it forwards. On the turn, it's a neat little piece of footwork by Wiles, but his pass is inaccurate. Wrexham clear. Chased by Fletcher. He won't get there, but he forces Huddersfield back briefly. Now it's worked wide by Wiles. Chance for a cross. Driven to the far post. Flicks on. Sorensen will hit this. Drills it. Defender gets a touch. It's a corner.
Well done, Elliot Lee. Just get in front of that ball. Don't let it go past you.
Well, this is it. Nichols is sprinting up from his goal, and Wrexham are going to have to dig deep here. Corner. Everybody in and around the Wrexham box, including the Huddersfield keeper. Can Wrexham survive? It'll be an in-swinger. Swept in to the far post. Okonkwo punches it wide. Another corner. And he'll stay up there. We're over 7 minutes now. Like I said, I thought 7 minutes was a bit generous to Huddersfield. The ref's gone beyond that. So, a corner, right-hand side. Wrexham digging deep. The fans making noise.
They're all trying to keep their player away from Arthur. Can you keep him off him?
Here it comes, away swinger. The signal, the delivery, near post. Keeper nearly gets a touch. Shot comes in, and he's missed it. He missed the ball completely. And there is the final whistle. Wrexham win at Huddersfield. A huge away victory. Stephen Fletcher with the goal, a controversial goal, as Matty James seemed to have fouled his man in the build-up. But it's got to be said that ultimately, after a bright opening by Huddersfield, it really didn't work at Okonkwo. And as a result, Wrexham get the reward of another excellent away win.
And breathe. Wow. Whew. Who says it's easy being a Wrexham fan? Yeah, totally agree with you, Mark. Huddersfield, you can see why they haven't scored here in a while. You can see why they've got that home trouble. Just didn't really cause any real threat going forward. And luckily, that man Stephen Fletcher there again to rescue 3 points for Wrexham. 3 big points as well, by the way. That feels very, very big.
Yes, huge. Puts a bigger gap between the two teams. But their away form at the moment, Wrexham's turned it around. Since Christmas, home form's become a little bit flaky, but certainly away from home, they're digging in, they're grafting, they're working, and they're coming up trumps with those vital victories at the moment that's keeping them right in the hunt.
And I think those away fans, you have to give them credit to this run as well. They've been exceptional tonight and have been for most of this season, but tonight have hit another level. You know, sometimes you can sense it when your team needs that little extra. And boy, have they sang their hearts out tonight, and what a happy journey home it'll be with those 3 points in the bag.
Let's get stuck on the M62, right?
Is there any other option? But goodness me, you're right, they have been superb, and that's 5 away wins on the spin, 4 in the league, another away clean sheet. And yeah, I mean, let's be honest, Wrexham had to work at times, but we did really keep Huddersfield pretty much at arm's length. I thought the 3 centre-backs were excellent, and Okonkwo didn't have that much to do.
Longman, well, I think the 2 substitutions for Huddersfield, I don't get it. I thought Ruskin was having a great battle with Longman, and they decided to swap Longman, but they did it at the same time. And then off the back, they took Chirawara out as well, which was really surprising, because for me, he would be the one that would get you on the ball and maybe create something. And they took him off, and then they went strikers on, and I felt they went similar to like we did, and whereas they get in each other's way, really, and there's no space to work.
I thought Chirawara was their best player for a start, not least because he was getting into some wonderful positions, and that snappy passing and little triangles they were working in and around the edge of the area were essentially, I thought, being facilitated by him, getting in positions to receive, turn and feed those balls in. So I thought they lost something of their fluidity then. And although Ruskin, I thought, wasn't as threatening in the second half, he still had some threat. They showed nothing down the left once he went off. And he contained Longman well in the second half, so he was doing that element of his job well. So yeah, I think the substitutions were peculiar for them, and Wrexham's worked. And certainly Fletcher worked hard up front, made the ball stick, got the goal, funnily enough as well. That's quite handy. Barnett didn't get much chance going forwards, but defensively did a good job. And ultimately, Huddersfield, they haven't scored a home this year rather, and they did look a little bit toothless. And I felt there was an element as well. As they were attacking late on, the crowd weren't getting that excited. There was a slight sense of resignation about them. I don't think they really expected to score.
Well, Charles's chance in the first half, Chirira right across the box, right across the goal, was probably as close as they came. And for all the play that they had in that first half, where we felt we were a bit under it, especially the first 20 minutes, like you say, right at the end, yes, it's a little bit panicky, but for us, because we're under pressure, but they're going for it, but they didn't really poke us open, craft us open and create a really good crossing chance or shooting chance, apart from right at the end. His leg ended up over the crossbar, I think, so he missed the ball completely. But that is a great away performance. Sometimes you can't be pretty, sometimes you can't play the beautiful football we want to play. But what you can do is you can dig in, you can run around, you can stop them playing, and you can be hard to beat. And then that's the reason why we make subs. We on the weekend, a couple of substitutions got booed at home for coming on and changing it, and that's why you make them, because Fletcher's so good at coming on and changing a game and nicking that so vital, important goal.
Exactly so. And also credit, I think, to the player who replaced Rodriguez, who put a really good 70-minute shift in, and also had that fabulous strike after Smith knocked it back, which drew a great save from Nichols high to his right. I mean, if that had gone in, the goal of the season competition would have been over, wouldn't it, really? But Rodriguez and Smith's partnership again showed promise, and the two of them properly put in a shift, didn't they?
Yeah, again, just more things to build on. And I think, obviously, going back home now on Saturday, it's one everyone's suddenly really excited for. You're thinking, Rotherham at home, that's a real opportunity for us again to get another big 3 points.
As well, ex-Wrexham and Huddersfield star Graham Cooper is here. Hello, Graham, you okay? Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, wow, yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Graham Cooper played for us in the 80s and is a very enthusiastic listen to our commentaries as well. So fair play to him. A man of great taste. That was cool. Great way to end the day, seeing a good bloke like him as well. And a great way for Wrexham to come down to Yorkshire and get a result like that.
On Joey Jones' 70th birthday
Perfect.
as well. Happy birthday, Joey.
Happy
There's 3
birthday,
points
Joey
for you.
Jones.
Legend.
100%, you're absolutely right.
So Bolton winning at Birmingham, yeah. Charlton won at Barnsley. Lincoln won at Crawley. Who else are we looking at? Orient got beat by Rotherham, our next opponent.
Stockport
1-1. And then Wickham are still playing, but 2-0 up.
Yeah. Well, not a bad set of results at all. And the fact that we win means Wickham don't gain anything on us. So, yep, good stuff. A pleasant evening, which, maybe slightly tarnished by a long traffic jam on the M62. But, yeah, happy birthday, Joey. We brought the points home from your old club, admittedly, for you. With the final score of Huddersfield Town 0, Wrexham 1. We've been Mark Griffiths, Mia Roberts and Andy Morrell from Wrexham AFC. Nice one. Yeah.